All right, here with reaction is War Stories host Lieutenant Colonel Oliver North. Let me add to this media narrative, because last night you have Mr. CNN, Anderson Cooper, making analogies to Nazi analogies in Khmer Rouge. Listen to this.
It is shocking. I mean, Jeff, just very quickly, when you read this, if you envision Nazis doing this, I mean, I even hate to say this, if you envision the Khmer Rouge doing this, you can imagine it. I mean, it's not that far removed from stuff they were doing.
Wait a minute. Is Mr. CNN, is he going to make or envision Nazi Khmer Rouge analogies about the president's drone strikes that have killed innocent men, women, and children? Is he going to make the same comparison here? What's your reaction?
Apparently he's certainly trying to do that, but I would point out that waterboarding was never considered to be torture until years after 9/11/01. And back in the 60s, SEER, Survival, Escape, Resistance, and Evasion instructor, of which I was one, subjected American military personnel to being dipped in ice water, stuffed into tiny hot boxes, waterboarding, standing naked in the dark, sleep deprivation, and exhaustive interrogation.
You've been through, in other words, you've been through all of that yourself as part of your training.
Sean, what's even worse is I did it to other people, because these were people who were training and preparing to be at the risk of capture by our enemies, of being broken by their captors. And so this was how we trained people to resist that kind of interrogation.
All right. How can somebody, though, I kind of lost you for a second. How does somebody support the drone program under Obama, and how that is not as morally or more morally problematic than what is enhanced interrogation? All right, give me an option. Enhanced interrogation, as horrible as it may be and uncomfortable as it may be, let me see, versus the killing of my entire family with a drone strike. I think I'll take the enhanced interrogation, please.
Well, and of course, Vice President Cheney made that very point. Ed Henry made that very point when he was trying to interrogate Josh Earnest at the White House. Well, they are. And not only that, this isn't just selective amnesia on the part of members of Congress. And the Vice President was very kind to mention what happened in Iran-Contra. I remember that kind of congressional amnesia. This is worse. It's a lie aimed at denigrating America and our intelligence services. And I know something about the Congress doing that kind of thing. Congressman Dave McCurdy, House Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence. Dick Cheney was then a member of that committee, so was Henry Hyde. He told me, Dave McCurdy, Democrat from Oklahoma, if you don't airdrop supplies to the Nicaraguan Indians, the Masura, Suma, and Rama Indians, and give them ammunition quickly, I will out you. And, of course, I ran across the street and asked the National Security Advisor what I should do. He says, you know the answer. Start dropping ammunition to the Indians. And we did. But when Congress was investigating how I carried out my orders to help the Contras, Dave McCurdy couldn't remember. Thank God Dick Cheney was there. This Feinstein report ignores the sworn testimony of John Rizzo, General Counsel, Jose Rodriguez, who gave over 40 briefings to Congress as head of clandestine service. Yet, you know what? People didn't die intentionally as a part of this program. Some of those who've been wounded and captured, some of those who starved themselves to death, and by the way, one of the things that's cited in this as torture was trying to feed them.
If people respond to this report and Americans are killed, they'll have blood on their hands as far as I'm concerned. A quick agree or disagree?
Couldn't agree more. I always ask, what good comes from publishing this kind of blatantly partisan, disturbing report? Now, we're being warned by our allies that that Americans are going to die. God help Dianne Feinstein if Americans die because of what she's done.
Pray it doesn't happen. All right, Colonel, thank you. And